every guy who comes to the Philippines thinks he already knows what he is getting into. He has done his research. He has watched the videos. He has scrolled through the forums at 2 in the morning. He has talked to his buddy who came here 3 years ago and never really stopped talking about it. He thinks he has a pretty solid picture of what a Filipina is like when the lights go down and the door closes. But here is the truth, and this is coming from someone who has spent years watching foreigners fall flat on their face here. Sometimes literally, most guys have absolutely no idea what they are actually walking into. Because here in the Philippines, there are not 1, not 2, but 5 completely different types of Filipina in bed. And which one you end up with is going to determine whether you are smiling all the way to the airport or lying on your back in a hotel room, staring at a ceiling fan, wondering what on earth just happened. So today, we are ranking all 5. From the one that will leave you confused and a little sad, all the way up to the one that will make you seriously consider canceling your flight home and looking into long-term visas. And yes, by the end of this video, the number 1 spot is going to completely surprise you, maybe even frustrate you a little. But stay until the end, because that is the one that actually matters. That is the one that changes things. Let us get started. If you want the full guide on Filipina relationships, the link is in the description and in the top pinned comment. And if you are new here, now is the time. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and activate the notification bell so you never miss a video like this one. Seriously, hit that bell right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it means the algorithm keeps showing you this content instead of burying it. Do it now, then keep watching. Now, before we get into the rankings, let us do a quick but important reality check. Because some guys show up here, and they assume that because Filipinas are generally sweet, warm, generous, and accommodating in everyday life, that this automatically translates directly into the bedroom. And sometimes it absolutely does. But sometimes it really genuinely does not. The way a Filipina acts in public and the way she acts in private can be 2 completely different universes. And understanding that gap is the whole game. Think about it this way. There is the Filipina she shows the world, polished and proper and careful about her reputation. There is the Filipina she shows her family, responsible and devoted, and carrying the weight of a lot of expectations on her shoulders. And then there is the Filipina she shows the one person she actually trusts completely. The bedroom version of a Filipina is the truest test of which layer you have actually managed to reach. Most foreigners, even the ones who think they know what they are doing, never get past layer 1. They get the performance, they mistake it for the reality, and they go home thinking they understood something that they completely missed. So pay close attention to what follows, because knowing which type you are dealing with before you get too deep, pun absolutely intended, can save you a lot of time, a significant amount of money, and more than a few genuinely embarrassing misunderstandings. Number 5. The statue. You have been talking to this Filipina for a while. Maybe a few days, maybe a couple of weeks. The conversation has been easy and warm. She laughs at the right moments. She sends you good morning messages before you even wake up. She tells you she misses you with what seems like complete sincerity. You are feeling genuinely good about where this is heading. And then you finally get to that moment, and then it happens. Or rather, it doesn't, because she just lies there. She is present in body, but completely checked out in spirit. No movement, no sound, no participation whatsoever. Just existing in the room alongside you, like a very beautiful, very expensive piece of furniture that you are not quite sure what to do with. This is the statue. And before your ego starts spiraling, understand that this is one of the most common experiences foreigners have here, and there are real, legitimate, deeply human reasons for it. The Philippines is a deeply Catholic country with deeply conservative social values that have been reinforced across generations. A lot of Filipinas, particularly younger ones, or women from more traditional provincial backgrounds, have been taught their entire lives that sex is something you endure rather than something you participate in. That enjoying it makes you a bad girl. That showing enthusiasm makes you look like someone from the bar. So she shuts it down. She goes somewhere else in her head. She lets it happen and waits for it to be over. Here is the critical thing to understand about the statue. She is not broken. She is not cold. She is not uninterested in you specifically. She is the product of a culture that told her to be this way, and she has been following those instructions so long that she does not even fully realize she is doing it. The statue can absolutely become something completely different over time, but only with the right trust, the right patience, and the right environment. And we are talking about real time here. Weeks, possibly months, not a weekend. If you are visiting for 2 weeks and you have found yourself a statue the ceiling, and you are going to get very well acquainted. That is simply the reality of where you are in the process. Number 4, the actress. This one is significantly more dangerous than the statue, because at least with the statue, you know exactly where you stand. The actress, on the other hand, gives you the full production. We are talking cinematic levels of enthusiasm. She is loud in all the right ways. She is saying exactly the things that make a man feel like an absolute champion. She hits every cue perfectly. And for a solid 10 minutes, you feel like the greatest human being who has ever existed on this planet. And then it is over. And something feels strange. You cannot quite name it. But there is a small, quiet, uncomfortable voice in the back of your mind saying, "Was any of that actually real?" The answer, unfortunately, is usually no. The actress has been trained by the nightlife industry, by years of online relationships with foreign men, or simply by a long history of telling people what they need to hear in order to keep the situation moving forward. To deliver an experience that feels absolutely wonderful in the moment, but has the emotional depth of a television soap opera. It is all surface. It is all staging. Underneath the performance, there is not very much at all. Here is the tell. After everything is over, she immediately picks up her phone. There is no lingering warmth, no conversation, no quiet moment where two people just exist in the same space for a minute. She has already moved on to the next scene because for her, the scene is what it was. A scene. You were a performance, not a person she was choosing to be with. And the genuinely sad part is that many guys, particularly men who have been lonely for a long stretch of time, completely mistake the actress for something real because she is extraordinarily good at what she does. That is the whole point. And that is precisely how men end up sending $300 a month to someone who is running the exact same script on 4 other guys in 4 other countries simultaneously. Do not be that guy. You are smarter than that. If it feels like a performance, it almost certainly is one. If you want the full guide on Filipina relationships, the link is in the description and in the top pinned comment. We are at the halfway point, and this is where the list gets genuinely interesting. So stay right there. Number 3. The Shy Volcano. Now we are getting somewhere. Because the Shy Volcano is one of the most specifically, uniquely, wonderfully Filipino things you will ever encounter in your life. And if you have never experienced it, I genuinely feel a little sorry for you. Here's how it always goes. She seems quiet. She seems modest. She barely holds eye contact across the dinner table. She covers her mouth when she laughs, which she does softly and briefly. She seems almost nervous just sitting next to you in a booth. Like the proximity alone is already a lot for her to manage. And you start to wonder if this is heading toward statue territory. You start mentally preparing yourself for a patient, slow, possibly frustrating evening. You remind yourself to be a gentleman. You lower your expectations, and then something shifts. And you realize with sudden, overwhelming clarity that this woman was not nervous at all. She was just warming up. Because underneath that shy, soft, cover your mouth when you law exterior is something that will genuinely and permanently rewrite your understanding of what quiet people are capable of. The Shy Volcano is the direct product of that cultural tension we mentioned earlier. Decades of being told to be modest in public, to be proper, to protect her reputation, to be a good girl. And she has followed every one of those rules with absolute dedication in every public setting. But all of that held energy has to go somewhere. In private, with the right person, in a space where she genuinely feels safe, it goes everywhere. All at once. The key to the Shy Volcano is environment and trust. She needs to feel like the rest of the world does not exist right now. Like whatever happens in this room is sacred and private and belongs only to the two of you. Give her that feeling, and what she gives you back will stay with you for years. This is a huge part of why so many foreigners who fall genuinely in love in the Philippines fall in love with exactly this type. The contrast, who she is in public versus who she is in private, creates the specific feeling of being trusted with something rare, something she does not show everyone. something she chose to show you. That is an incredibly powerful feeling, and it is completely real. Before we get to number 2, here is something worth sitting with for a moment. Numbers 5, 4, and 3 all have one thing in common. They are all versions of a Filipina who is not fully letting you in. The statue is protecting herself from judgment. The actress is protecting herself from vulnerability. Even the shy volcano, wonderful as she is still someone whose full self only emerges under very specific conditions. What you are about to hear about number 2 and number 1 is different. These are the types that require you to actually be someone worth showing up for. And that is an entirely different set of requirements than just being in the right place at the right time. Number 2, the one who actually loves you. This one is not something you find. It is something that finds you. But only after you have done the work, shown the patience, and made the right choices along the way. Most guys never get here because they took the bait somewhere back at number 4 or number 3 and ended up burning something good for a cheap experience. The one who actually loves you is not the most technically theatrical person on this list. She is not the loudest. She is not performing for you. She is not managing your experience or following a script. But what she brings to the bedroom and to every single thing outside of it is something that no performance in the world can come close to replicating. She is completely present. Her mind is fully here. She is not already composing a message to someone else in her head. She is not thinking about what comes next or what she needs from you or how long this situation is useful to her. She is here with you specifically because she decided to be, because she wants to be, because you gave her a reason to trust you enough to be that vulnerable with another person. The intimacy that comes from this type is genuinely different in a way that is impossible to explain to someone who has not felt it. It is not just physical, though the physical is extraordinary. It is the feeling of being completely known by another person and wanted anyway. Not for your nationality, not for your income, not for what you can send at the end of the month, for who you actually are. And if you have spent any real time in the Philippines, particularly in the wrong places or with the wrong people, you will know it the moment you finally meet this type. Because nothing else that came before, it will have felt remotely like this. Here is the warning though, and it is important. This type is also the easiest to lose. The moment she senses that you are drifting, chasing a different experience, entertaining another option, sniffing around for a new piece of cheese, she closes. Not with drama, not with a confrontation. She just quietly shuts the doors and starts filling that space with other things. Other people. Other priorities. Once that door closes, it does not open again the same way. The one who actually loves you is not competing with anyone for your attention. She knows her value, and she acts accordingly. A lot of foreigners figured this out too late. They traded something rare and genuine for something fast and forgettable, and they spend years sitting in airports and hotel lobbies in various countries, trying to find a feeling they already had once and let walk out the door. Do not be that story. If you find her, hold on. If you want the full guide on Filipina relationships, the link is in the description and in the top pinned comment. Number 1 is right here, and it is going to make you think differently about everything on this list. And now, the number 1 spot, the best type of Filipina in bed. Number 1, the one you waited for. That is right. The single best experience you are going to have in the Philippines. The one that will actually, genuinely, permanently change how you think about intimacy and relationships and what you want for the rest of your life. Is the one that happened because you did not rush. Because you chose patience over convenience every single time it was offered. Because you sat through slow evenings and gentle conversations and moments where you could have pushed forward and instead you held back. And then one specific day, with one specific person, everything that you had been patient for arrived all at once, and you understood in that moment exactly why it had to go that way and no other way. The one you waited for is not a personality type. She can be any of the other types on this list. She can be quietly shy. She can be deeply warm. She can be unexpectedly and wonderfully wild in ways that will make you laugh out loud. What makes her the number 1 experience on this entire list is not who she is. It is the context that surrounds her. It is the anticipation you built together over time. Every text message, every dinner that ended properly and without anyone pushing, every slow walk and every moment of genuine restraint. All of it compounds, all of it adds up. And when it finally happens, it happens with the full weight of everything that came before it behind it. And there is simply nothing in the world that can replicate that kind of feeling. This is not a romantic idea invented to make a YouTube video end nicely. This is chemistry and psychology and biology, all functioning at maximum capacity simultaneously. The experience you earn is genuinely, measurably better than the experience you purchase. Not just emotionally, not just in terms of meaning, physically better, neurologically better. The anticipation alone changes the entire event. And here is the other thing nobody says out loud. The one you waited for is usually the one who was also waiting. Not because no one wanted her, not because her options were limited, but because she was also holding out for someone worth opening up for. And when two people who have both been that patient, that deliberate, that careful about who they trust, end up in the same room at the same time, what happens between them is the kind of thing that makes people close laptop computers, rebook flights, look into visa requirements, and start having very different conversations about what the next chapter of their life might actually look like. That is the number 1 type. Not the loudest, not the most immediately available, not the one that required the least effort, the one that was absolutely, completely, 100% worth the wait. So let us bring it all together. Number 5, the statue. Present in body, somewhere far away in spirit. Patience and genuine trust are the only things that move the situation forward, and it takes real time. Number 4, the actress. An outstanding performance with nothing real underneath it. Dangerously easy to mistake for the genuine thing, especially if you have been lonely for a while. Under no circumstances send money. Number 3, the shy volcano. One of the most beautifully specific things about dating in the Philippines. Public modesty, genuinely volcanic private energy. Worth every second of patience it takes to get there. Number 2, the one who actually loves you. Not the most theatrical, but the most real. Push her away, chasing something cheaper, and you will spend a long time understanding exactly what you gave up. And number 1, the one you waited for. The one that all of this was building toward the whole time. The best experience in the Philippines is not the one that cost the least effort. It is the one you had to earn. Now you know the 5 types. The only question left is which one you are actually going after. If you want the full guide on Filipina relationships, the link is in the description and in the top pinned comment. Everything in that guide goes deeper than this video had time for. And if this video gave you something real, subscribe right now so you never miss what comes next. Hit the like button because it genuinely helps this content reach the people who need it. And activate that notification bell so you are the very first person to know when the next video drops. Because what is coming next is going to be even more honest, even more specific. And yes, probably even more surprising than number 1 on this list. The bell is right there. You know what to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the good luck of the Philippines.